Welcome to Tarot Q&A Tuesday. This is a very special edition because today is a solar eclipse and we will be beginning with a special meditation to enhance our next month and to deepen our personal awareness and to come into a receptive mode for receiving all the love and abundance that we innately deserve. Now, this is going to be just a minute or two of a simple, conscious breathing exercise. I'm going to walk you through it. And the reason I'm doing this is because the solar eclipse is a very intense time that is a preferred time to go within and really do our soul seeking or reflecting and be aware of what we need to let go of and transform for our positive outcome. It's not about spending time during these days around this particular day to put energy into external stuff, materialism, money, business. It's all about going within. Therefore, we're going to begin with a heart-centered and heart-opening meditation. So the first thing I'd like you to do is actually do a bit of a mudra. This one here. We're going to bring attention to your heart. So what we need to do is create a triangle with our index fingers together, our thumbs together. These are going to cover our heart like this, or actually open our heart. And then we crunch the other fingers. It's like a very intense, firm yet relaxed. You know, it's got to be as triangular and assertive as possible. And before we begin, the concept of this is trusting the universe is supporting you and allowing us to open our hearts to the greatest love of all. And when you do this process, you hold this mudra over your heart, and I personally find it very opening of the heart. It's almost like you can feel the love coming and going, giving and receiving from our personal heart space. And we will begin, and I will walk you through a little simple breathing exercise where we begin by pulling our tummy in first. So we will start with exhaling. Really release that what's already there. You're basically letting go of the old and making way for the new. So pull your tummy in and squeeze out all the old. And now breathe a full breath in. And very slowly exhale. Like slowly release. Let go until the breath is fully released. Your eyes can be either closed or simply relaxed, perhaps focusing on your third eye, which if you allow your eyes to drift to the tip of your nose. And then slowly take a full inhale. And all you'll be doing is simply this slow exhale and inhale as you release the old and allow your heart space to now open with trust that the universe is fully supporting you. And if you can open your awareness, you'll be shown the wonderful things that life is offering. As you breathe in, you're conscious about breathing in this new love, this special light, this wonderful feeling. In your own time, long, full breaths. Now we're just going to continue in our own time. expanding your heart, receiving the goodness, giving your light. Sitting up in a regal position. Transforming your life by choice today with the love energy of the universe. And coming to a close. How are you feeling, everyone? We will begin. It's super important to have some awareness of today's solar eclipse. It's actually quite aligned with relationship energy more than other things, simply because Venus is in alignment, or planetary alignment, with the Sun and the Moon obscuring each other's view. So what we're going to do today is begin with the collective consciousness card. Simply, what is the message for this powerful time for all of us? And then we're going to launch into the questions, of course. Now, if you are new to Tarot Q&A Tuesday, if you'd like to ask a question, you simply email me, Fiona@sirensoul.com, SIRENSOUL.com. Alrighty. So we have a group here today, and anyone who's watching this replay, and there's a special message here that we really want to hear in order to enhance our meaningful transformation, as opposed to a transformation that could be self-sabotaging or destructive. So we ask for the guidance to allow us to be our best self and to do what is best for our highest good. Okay. Is this the card for us? Wow. Let's have a little bit of, I've got the 5 of, oh. These are intense cards. I will show you. This is the 5 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles. These are cards that are challenging. One of them is all about focusing on what we don't want and getting quite depressed with the perception of life, and they've got their back to the cups that are upright and giving the goodness of emotional fulfillment. And then we have this card, which can often depict health issues or feeling a bit left out in the cold, either financially or with a crowd of like common thought processes. Like it could be that this is actually a church and these people are left out in the cold, so they are not feeling they fit in. So we have this as a message, and when it's a 5, 5s are very unstable. It's like the seesaw, you know, it's that middle ground. And when we are in the middle ground, we're not one way or the other. And it's important to get really specific about what we want on one side or the other, so that we're not wavering between the two. And I want to just pull another card. Am I going to get another card just to clarify this, because this is a little bit of a tricky one to read based on, oh my God. Okay, I've now got even more of a challenging card. So what we've got here is, these are messages of grief, disappointment, heartache, unwellness, and feeling left out in the cold, and having depressive tendencies. So all of these things have a negative vibration. So my feeling on this are, those are the things that we need to put into the past. So we exhale those and we breathe in quite the opposite. So if we are feeling depressed, we want to focus on looking at life with a bright outlook. If we are feeling left out, we want to start connecting with other people. If we are feeling disappointed, we need to know how to express our feelings. If we're feeling grief, we need to be with our grief and heal it so we can move on. If we're feeling heartache, we need to put love into our hearts. So it feels to me we've been presented with a lot of baggage, and it's just really time to assess which one you most align with. And tonight, have a little moment to yourself and do the meditation for as long as you feel called to do so in your own time. As you exhale, release the emotion that you are ready to say goodbye to and the baggage that's aligned with that, and breathe in the love energy that you innately deserve. It is your birthright to receive the love of the universe. It's there all the time for us. And when we don't feel supported by the universe, we have untoward experiences. And when we do feel supported, we feel in flow with life and everything unfolds more easily. So that's pretty intense, but it's also bang on. We talked about in the cosmic consulting class yesterday, everyone that was there, every single person that turned up to the class last night had had a week or two of topsy-turvy emotions. And that's what generally happens leading up to a solar eclipse, because it's really bringing things to a head for us to address, reflect on, and release, rather than continue the same patterns. And we are affected by by the moon, because, as you know, the moon brings the tide, the water of the sea, in and out. And we are 70 to 80% water within our human form. So being aware of how we can release and let go on an energetic level is a PowerPoint that you can use for yourself for free, anytime, anywhere. Whew, well, this is one way to start a little intense tarot Q&A Tuesday, isn't it? Now, let me just have a look at this. I love your hair and top. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, I thought I'd do a bit of a curl option today. Didn't quite go to plan. I thought it looked like I've just got out of bed, actually. Anyway, I was just trying to spruce things up for my people. Right, what we're going to do now is talk about a lot of relationship stuff that's come up. Let's go straight into Michelle's question, which is, will my ex-partner and I be reunited soon? Now, we are going to just ask a simple yes/no question to begin. And then, Michelle, and then we just want to give you a little tidbit of advice. That's what it feels like it's called to do so today. Okay. You know, even when people come on here and they ask me the same question or similar each week, I can't help wanting to get a different outcome for people as well. And I know you haven't specifically asked this, Michelle, but some people have. And what I want to say is it's still probable. Actually, this did come up before. It's still probable, but it does require you looking at the subconscious stuff and your inner child work that I believe has come up before. So the first card was actually the High Priestess. And as you can see, we've got the black pillar and the white pillar. These represent the black is the dark side, the subconscious, and the white pillar is the conscious mind. So this beautiful goddess is in her power. She is very intuitive, and that is the space that you're required to get into. We'll just keep moving more into it as your life progresses. This is the Queen of Cups. She's very emotional and very loving, and yet once again we've got inner child stuff presenting here. So I really just want to say it's very probable, and the work that you can do is simply to continue to, it's not actually about transforming and digging up trauma. It's more really about leveraging from the stuff that happened in the past that might have a pattern within this relationship. So if it's about neglect or rejection or not being heard or being misunderstood or whatever the term is for you. In fact, I'll just see what it is. Understood. I don't want to be rude about this in a group forum, but it just feels like maybe it didn't always feel as loved as you would have hoped that you might in your family unit. So just know that you are worthy of the love, and you really get into this meditation to open yourself up to actually receive it from a divine level. When you do that meditation that we've just done with the heart opening mudra, you actually can feel your heart expand, and it is quite a beautiful experience. If you do on a regular basis, you build more inner compassion as well. We're going to do your second question a bit later, Michelle, because we'll whiz through all the love questions to start with. Now, Jennifer's popped on here. It's quite a big question, so bear with. I've been with my partner for over 3 years now, and we have had so many ups and downs within that time. It's been a bit of a roller coaster and quite exhausting. I've been recovering from a health issue for the last 9 months, and I felt quite alone and unsupported in the way that I would have liked to be supported, but it didn't happen. I know that my partner is also struggling with life at the moment and the significant changes that have occurred to our lives over the last few months. I'm wondering if it's time to let this relationship go, or whether we should just be friends, or whether I or we should keep working on things. So this is a big one to unpack, and if you happen to have a similar situation going on in your life at the moment and this isn't your question, consider this some helpful advice. Okay, we really are aiming to focus on the relationships today because this is the solar eclipse specific to relationship energy. Good old Venus, that feminine energy, is casting a little bit of turbulence. We want to know, let's just go in for, is this relationship, is it correct action to still be in this relationship? Before we go any further. This is for Jennifer. Jennifer. Is this the, okay. Okay, I just want to see, it's not feeling overly favorable at this time. However, before we throw the baby out with the bathwater, we'll just dive into working on things together. Working on things separately. Okay. One more question. Is this possible to reunite at a later time? Okay, this is a pretty powerful message. I've got some intense cards here, so I'm going to tell you as I read them. This is quite a story. So wowzers, right? This is the Tower. Now what the Tower means is it does feel time to have a breakup. However, this does not mean it's forever, because it is a time for you to both separately go soul seeking. Start to focus on your light, that is the light that the hermit is following in order to expand his consciousness, his personal growth, his life itself. It feels you need to break up. This is dramatic, and I mean, this is a big call for me as a online tarot reader here. This is the process that I feel would be beneficial. In order for you both to find your inner strength, really come into your truth. This is also the energy of the star that's in the Hermit's lantern. So when you can both separately do some change and really self-reflect and actually look at things from a completely new perspective, I see an opportunity for you to reunite with such a beautiful soulmate energy. Okay, this is quite a massive, massive love story. And it does require, sometimes you just got to break the energy, because it's like a blood-sucking leech attached to you that's actually probably affecting your health as well. So if you can take a time out, you can perhaps have the discussion about how this looks so it's not dramatic and hurtful, and to assess it a little bit further down the track. I feel that within that conscious breakup where you can both agree to have this time apart, you can reset and get clear on what you want in a relationship overall, whilst dealing with the triggers that have come up for you. And the reason I'm spending quite a bit of time on this particular reading for Jennifer is because this is a massive common denominator that I have felt around the last month. This is an opportunity to really feed your soul and really take a different stance on life, so that you're not just trying to fix something so you'll be in a relationship, and you don't want to have fear of not being with somebody or trying to date someone again, or whatever that rises within you when you think of separating. The power of doing that will give you more happiness at the other side. Sometimes it's a great idea to have the conversation with the partner about this. Other times it might simply be walking away to not give false hope. For me, I feel you can have the discussion because your focus right now is on your health and then your own personal ambition in life. And when you can get some clarity and flow in those areas, you will be the light in the lantern and your personal best. You will be in your personal power, having stronger inner strength. And this is a true story for all of us. If we are coming up and butting against heads and constantly having friction, no one wants to live like that. It's exhausting, it makes us miserable, and it's time to use this solar eclipse to really let that old go and trust that the universe is supporting you, and your heart is open to receiving this beautiful love, like the most amazing love connection with other people in general, like plural, and especially with a soulmate lover. So this is amazing that these 4 cards have literally come up live here on this night. It's like actually my heart is racing because I'm like, wow, this is just so intense and bang on. I thought it might be, but I didn't quite know how it would happen. So there you go, Jennifer. That's how we're going to roll with that. Let's talk about Amy. Will I get back with my recent ex? Woo! Well, that's kind of ironic, isn't it? That we've just said time apart can be very healing. And not that I believe you should ever get back with an ex if you haven't done any work and worked out why either of you, both of you, weren't connecting in the first place. So let's just go into, will I get back with my ex? So let's get a clearer story on this for Amy. Amy in the UK, I believe. Whew, Amy. Okay. Okay. It's interesting. You know, it's a funny vibe on this because it's a highly likely, but the message I pulled 2 cards, and so this is a similar story to what we've been talking about. In order for you to get back together, you actually have to have some really conscious appreciation for what you are offering and receiving in the relationship. It feels that at this point your focus is still on what's not going right, what you didn't like. It feels the focus is on what you didn't like. Can we help you to reset that just to see if, in fact, just to see, is there something that you need to do in order to, it feels like, sorry to say, Amy, it feels like you've just got a bit of a bad attitude. Okay. So this feels it's about beliefs, okay? This is about having different beliefs and being aligned with the beliefs. So that's where the tricky part is at this time. I've got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a 5 as well, based on that, but he's also really about understanding your values and beliefs. My challenge is for you is, can you accept the differences that you have, and if so, or can that he as well, or is it just a friendship? Is it just a friendship? Let me just get back into that. I can feel that the energy is still quite loving. It's just that it's more, it's not harmonious at this time. Okay. The final outcome, if you can resolve this with great communication, is very much an opportunity of starting back at the beginning. So this wouldn't be diving into where you already were at in the relationship. It's like take it back to the baby steps and really just start dating again. That's the only way it's going to happen, is you almost have to pretend it's a new person and restart. So once again, this is the same story as the collective consciousness card. So that's quite fascinating. I'm not making this up. Like I got this page of cups here. Now he, in the case here, represents baby steps. He's a child, and also he can also indicate doing some inner child work, but it's about emotion, it's about love, and it just says just maybe it also represents a surprise sometimes. So it's about exploring without expectations, allowing yourself to be surprised. The outcome is not sturdy at this time because he actually has not got his own ducks in a row. He's not clear himself, and he's just sitting in this energy of, do I stay in this world or do I step into a new world? He's in that zone. So you've just got to allow the time that's happening in the universe, or in our world right now, on planet Earth, to just honestly just let it go and get out of the head. And it's almost like you've got to just accept it's ended, and then when you've accepted it, that's when you will get the next green light. You're not going to get a green light until you fully relinquish what was. It's quite an extreme message, honestly, but it's pretty life-changing if you can do it, because you've actually done some personal healing within the process if you manage to work through that. Honestly, if this doesn't make sense, please just email me and I'll clarify it, because it's quite a story. Alrighty, let's get on with that, guys. So what else have we got here? Jonathan, what is the message I need right now about my relationship situation? Whew, tell you, isn't it ironic that all the relationship questions came through today? I mean, they always do, but just sort of, I'm banging on about the solar eclipse because I don't think we're going to see it tonight. It's so cloudy. Okay, let's just get the energy. Can we do a reading for the... What do you need to hear about this situation? I don't know what the situation is exactly, but what do you need to hear? We'll just find out. It's a good question. Actually, it's a good question as opposed to a yes or no question that so often we end up answering. Okay, well, what I see that what he's done is he feels like he's invested a lot into this dynamic, and it does feel that you have got somewhere. Like it's been worth it, but it's been a lot of work. So yeah, I can feel that's the energy where you're at. So that's what the situation is right now, which is what you asked. So do we give you a correct action? Because that feels quite unstable. Okay, let's get we need another card for Jonathan, just to say, well, we hear you, we see that you've put the effort in, or you put a lot of energy into this relationship. Therefore, it's not necessarily what you want to throw it all away, but is it going to perhaps get a little bit more easy, as ideally you want relationships to be the majority of the time in flow, whilst the conflict and the contrast of what we want can stimulate us to grow. We don't want to be growing every minute of the relationship, do we? Therefore, Jonathan... Okay, we have this is a letting go. This is a surrender. This is the end of the line. And God, this is crazy. So I can't help, because of the patterns in tonight, this is a surrender. So he said, what's the situation? It looks like it's exhausting. This card says, let it go, surrender, just stop all the overthinking, end the chapter, but wait, there's more. That's how I feel, because this is the same story we've got for all the last ones. Is there a reunion? Is there a reunion for you after you have surrendered? Because it feels intense. And and this is that whole step away from the intense energy and take a breath. And I mean that not in a minute, I mean that in a few weeks. Take some breathing time, and then we will see, is this going to be the same pattern? Is it going to be the same pattern? I'm so curious. I'm so curious, Jonathan. Okay, is it going to be does it have potential to have a reunion between the two of you? Is this a card? Oh, God. Well, we've got death, which is a new beginning. Is that with them or someone else? Oh my goodness, this is an unraveling. It's like going down a bloody picker path book or something. Okay, so that says ending, new beginning. Is it with the same person? Is it with the same person or someone else? Well, is it with the same person? Oh, okay. Do you guys see this? This is actually the wishes come true card. That would be a yes. That would be a definite yes. I'm so nervous to give these dramatic answers because it's so specific. And I'm not even joking. You've seen me shuffling these cards. I'm just picking these cards. This is like even surprising me today. So, okay, we are rocking and rolling. If you haven't picked up the message by now, guys, if you're going to put this into your life somehow, you really need to do it. And if you're not in a relationship having this kind of tumultuous time, then I suggest that you do the same concept for your personal life around relationships. So letting go of expectations, changing your perspective on it, letting go of any fear about relationships, letting go of unconscious fear. So tapping into what sort of anxiety you might get around relationships in the past. What patterns have you repeated, or what was the last issue in your last relationship? Take it as an opportunity to clean up your mess, clean up the old, and get ready to be ready. All right, we're going to go straight into Linda's now, which is not specifically about a loving relationship, but it is still about relationships. Linda asks, I want to know if this rift between my daughter and son-in-law and I will soon be healed. It's extremely important to me that there is a resolution soon. Okay, well, let's go into, what is the question? Is there a block? Do I have to block? Is it likely that what is soon though? What is soon? This year, this month, next month, this month? Is it going to be healed? What do we ask? Time. Is it healing now? We just want to talk, is it in the process of healing? Because things do take time to unravel. And some people need more time to process than other people, which is a right pain in the ass, isn't it? Because I actually like to process stuff fast. And if I ever have a little hiccup with my man, I'm like, come on, how many hours or days do you need? Patience, not my forte. Anywho, the outcome says yes, and quite a beautiful outcome, because this is the mother image, and she's also the mother who's in nature, and it feels promising and creative and nice. It does feel like yes is the answer. Is there something that you have to do, or are you just playing the waiting game? What do you have to do? Linda, is that the card for Linda? Okay, Linda. The Six of Wands. Six of Wands, family celebration, victory, share. Okay. I just want to see what else comes up for them. Is there anything he can do? All right. What I feel is that this is you celebrating, you offering to. Can you offer to celebrate a win that you have? Is there something that you can invite them to celebrate with you? And perhaps even within this meeting that you request or ask the son-in-law in particular if he would like to reset and just start fresh. I feel the daughter she might actually still be interested in coming back into the business once you've resolved this. This does require some action. It's definitely a free will moment, but it is sort of evolving yourself at the same time. Yeah, I feel if there's a birthday or some reason that you can invite them to celebrate, maybe you don't even, maybe you just have a dinner and invite them as a fresh start, and consciously just put that out there. That's my suggestion. Are you saying anything to me, Linda? Did you want to make comment? Speak up now, forever hold your peace. I can't hear you now. Some reason. Oh, hold on. Oops, I've got the music on again now.
Is that better?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, the first anniversary of the shop's coming up, so that's...
Oh, perfect. That is so perfect. Yeah, absolutely. So have a little thing, and you really want to come into that let's connect energy. So it is about you really setting the scene for, you decided that you're going to be proud of yourself. It's been a year. Other people are celebrating you, and you'd like them to come there as well. So, because I saw you being celebrated, that was the victory card, I think the 6 of Wands, and it is about you being celebrated. So this is perfect, amazing. I love it. So yeah, just be the bigger person, and offer that olive branch, and do it in quite a symbolic manner, not in a casual text. Well, you could text it, but make sure it's a nice thought out text. Be very intentional about what your words are, and just saying, be lovely to reconnect, and just I'm sorry for anything that my part is in it. I just love to step forward into new beginnings. And it's a good focus point for tonight. Just imagine when you're doing this heart opening meditation, just visualize the connection, visualize you hugging them, visualize laughing with them, visualize those nice kind of cheers to, and all that kind of stuff. Let's whip to Carmen. Carmen. Hi, Fiona. If you get a chance, I feel like I am definitely wavering in regards to my intimate relationship, and I wonder why that is, please. Ha! Well, let's just have another intimate relationship card. Well, let's have a look. This is the same guy that was last one. This feels like the same guy. You break up with him, but you got back together. Yeah, it's the same person. I can feel that. Okay, what? Why? I wonder why. Why are we wavering? Why am I wavering? Asks Carmen. Safe and appropriate to do this reading for Carmen using these cards. We're going to use these cards. Okay, I've got the Judgment card, which is generally about judgment and forgiveness and letting go of some demons from the past and connecting in with your angelic guidance. So how does this relate to you? Question is, why am I wavering? Are you holding some resentment to him about anything? Is that part of their situation?
I feel like I judge him based on past relationships, and I don't know if that's me on purpose blocking it, or...
Well, it's a really good thing to be revealed today, because we'll just find out, does this relationship have potential to actually be a bit more of a long-term, actually really enjoyable, loving relationship? Because what I feel here is this is a very, we've heard all the stories that we've already heard today, right? If we are going to be focusing on what we don't like about the person, we're never fully going to respect them enough and be able to admire and adore them. There's no relation. You want to admire and adore and think your partner is amazing, and for things that are not you, or even things that are similar to you. So we can say, is this relationship... yeah, I think there is potential for this relationship, but it does require a journey of change at the start of a new journey. gosh. I mean, you guys are seeing these. I feel a bit anxious inside with all this stuff. So this is the Fool, right? The Fool is I'm now spitting everywhere with excitement. The Fool is the first card in the tarot, and it's the start of a spiritual journey generally, but it's the start of a new journey. It's a fresh start. Therefore, it is important to, well, it's like the conversation that needs to be had with those last examples. Can you actually have the conversation about, do you need to take any time out from each other, or can you just do it feels like you've lost the honeymoon aspect, and I think there's potential, but I'm just wondering, oh, this is horrible. No. Is it just for you to do this? Okay, come. It's just for you. Can you just take the next week, starting with tonight, to decide to give it a go and to allow him to show you what he can bring to the table? It's kind of stepping back to allow him to step forward. So you are stepping back into your feminine to allow him to be the masculine. If you haven't already asked him for what you would require in a relationship for deeper satisfaction, then you certainly would need to do that. And, you know, everyone's different. So these are things like emotional support, being listened to, having a partner in crime who could be just simply, maybe some people just want like help around the house. Sometimes you just need to feel like you're not doing all of it yourself. I know that you're not living together, but it is about, you know, I guess it comes back to the languages of love. If you need to know, you know, I'm thinking the helping around the house is kind of acts of service. Yet, have you done the languages of love quiz online? If any of you haven't done the languages of love quiz online, it's a fantastic thing to do. Just Google languages of love quiz, and you can do one if you're in a relationship. You can do one with for your children and yourself. You can do one for yourself as a single person. You just answer a bunch of questions, and it pulls out a hierarchy of what your top love languages are. So the love languages are affection, physical touch, acts of service, you know, doing stuff like cooking dinner, mowing the lawns, fixing your car, washing your car, that kind of stuff. Verbal affirmation, so words of affirmation and words of affection. Quality time and gifts. Now, everybody has a different hierarchy of those 5 things. And when you understand what your partners are, you can show them love in ways that they like to receive it, and vice versa. Therefore, it's a very powerful piece of information that can change a relationship. And when you can do it together, if you can't do stuff like that with your partner and they're not interested in developing your relationship, it's a definitely no-go, because you have to be able to work and discover each other. And even if it seems a bit corny, it's kind of just one of those things that actually helps you to move forward faster. I mentioned in the Cosmic Consulting the other week that I actually had this list of questions I got my boyfriend to answer so that we could see whether we're on the same page with how we're moving forward with life, what we want from life, what we want from the relationship, what we need on a personal level, all sorts of things. And it became a fun thing to do. So when you can turn it into a fun date that you actually plan your questions, answer them before, and then meet for a beautiful meal somewhere, it's really cute and fun, and you can actually share it in a way that you're both wanting to evolve and to reconnect on a new level. So move into the next chapter, or even start a new sequel if you want. And I really encourage this in relationships, because most people, and I'm very very blunt with my gross statements, like most people, but most people don't do this stuff. Most people don't talk or communicate on an intimate level that can bring about so much more inner fulfillment on love. And I feel it's a great missing out. Because I mean, at the end of the day, life is about meaning, joy, abundance, transformation, growth. And when we can actually feel that in our days, in our weeks and months, then we are living. We're living. All right, I'm just going to make sure I haven't forgotten anybody. Jonathan, Linda, Amy, Jennifer, Michelle's second question. Oh, sorry, Jessica, I'll get back to you. Is this possibility of a new job opportunity the right thing for me right now? A very interesting timing of this, Jessica, as I'm being explaining about the solar eclipse. Is this job opportunity the right thing for you now? Can we just get a quick yes or no about this? Not right now. Not right now. That doesn't mean not in a couple of weeks, but definitely just not right now. Okay, it's very much, don't make any drastic moves for a week or two. And we will talk about this in your next session to work out whether that is a permanent thing or just circumstantial with the vibes in the air right now. And then we have Michelle's question, and then we'll have to wrap it up, I think. Oh, sorry, Jess. Me, she says. God, how could I forget you? I didn't forget you. I never forget you. What will help my prosperity flow right now? Michelle, let's talk about money. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about prosperity, abundance, and all good, amazing, beautiful things coming at us. What would help? What would help? Okay, I've got the death card again, all about new beginnings, being your authentic self. Ha ha ha, being your authentic self. Oh goodness, being happy too. Happy, but let me expand. Allow me to expand. Michelle, what would help? What would help? Makes sense though, doesn't it, being your authentic self, because it means you're in alignment with your soul's purpose. Okay, Michelle, one more piece of advice from the tarot, please. Destructive, betrayal of the thoughts. So in answer to, let's just, someone else, you, okay. Michelle, give you more detail on that. What it feels like is, you know, shifting your mindset. And then I pull over the the 6 of swords, which is actually someone shifting their mindset, like they are moving those swords from rough waters to calmer seas. So they're moving life from a hard time to more of a good time. The coming into your truth, I realize that's very Fiona McLeod of me to say, but it is relevant to getting flow in your life. It's super important to, you know, get into that appreciation mode, focus on what you want, see the cups that are behind you. God, we've seen this card a few times tonight, haven't we? Yeah, oh, Erin, I've missed Erin too. Holy tamale. Michelle, continue as what you are doing, because you're already on that process. It is a bit of a road of going with the ebb and flow of life and tapping into your inner strength, taking the messages from the struggles. I know, Michelle, you want something else? No, you can't. So what can you do to do that? become very mindful of your thinking, that negative self-talk, the inner critic. Use that to leverage your new intentions. Use that negative talk to pick it up, stop yourself mid-track. What am I thinking? Why am I talking to myself like that? And then write down the opposite. Aaron, what does Aaron need? Just a general card for you, wasn't it, Aaron? Aaron, I'd like a random card, please. It was. Quite a long session today. Do you guys pick up, what do you think about the solar eclipse story? It's like quite, I mean, I'm totally into what I do, but I still get surprised. Let me know in the chat. And if you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. You guys watching my YouTube, would you give me some likes on there? I want to see that you've been there. Thank you. Aaron, can't even find a card for you. Is that the card? Is that the card? Is that the card? Ah, more cards? Just this card. Well, topic of the day. This card's come up a few times as well. So we've got the 5 of Cups and we've got the Strength card, which is an 8, and it's all about personal power. So it's taming the inner beast, Aaron. You wanted a random card. This is a random card. So this is a wonderful story of being kind to yourself, self-compassion, being self-nurturing, looking at the grizzly bear inside of you and giving it a hug rather than anything untoward or putting yourself down or getting any other emotions that don't feel fabulous. This is a reminder to us all to allow the journey to be a constant evolvement of allowing our best self to come out to shine. This means in relationships, it means because of relationships are where we do our most learning. This is the most dramatic part of our life. And if you're not, like I went through a massive time in my life where I didn't have a relationship. And so my massive learning was actually with my mum because that was my most significant relationship. And whoever you have that tight relationship with for any time that has troubles and struggles, that's the one, that's the bomb, that's the healing factor. When I did my healing around my issues with my mother, as many of us have, and now my relationship is actually amazing with my mother. But when I did the healing, I changed my life and then I met my beautiful man. So that's all very part of heart healing, heal the heart, be ready for new love. And so that's very, very aligned with the beautiful heart opening meditation that we did. So let me remind you, and if you're late on here, go back to the replay. We did a heart meditation with this mudra, a triangle over the heart, allowing us to focus the heart. And it's funny how this mudra really makes you feel the heart energy. And then we do really long, beautiful, slow breaths and just be with yourself and make sure you're sitting up, shoulders back, heart open, and in a regal position of royalty. Remember, you're the king or the queen and you deserve this love. And that, my friends, is a wrap for our beautiful Tarot Q&A Tuesday on this amazing solar eclipse evening. There you go. Any thoughts or just want to go? See ya. I missed it. I got everyone. Love to hear your thoughts about the meditation as well. Keep me posted. Lots of love. Bye.